The Nigerian government is taking urgent steps to address funding gaps in the healthcare sector following the withdrawal of the financial support from the United States. Speaking before the House Committee on AIDS, Tuberculosis and Malaria, Minister of Health and Social Welfare Professor Mohammed Ali Pate reassured Nigerians that measures are in place to ensure continued access to critical healthcare services. Professor Pate acknowledged the significant contributions of external donors over the years but emphasized the need for Nigeria to take ownership of its healthcare funding. He also highlighted ongoing effort between the federal, state, and local government to strengthen the sector.
Health is a responsibility of the federal government, it's a responsibility of all state governments, and is also the responsibility of local governments. There is no level of government that is absolved of responsibility in contributing to health. On the federal government side, we have corralled, we have signed compact, and we're working hand in hand with states and local governments. But the resources that the federal government is investing is not it's not the totality. All levels of government, whether it's on malaria or HIV or TB or infectious disease or primary health care, all levels of government have to pull their weights so that we achieve. So just as you are focusing on this at the federal legislature, I also urge our state houses of assemblies and our elected local government levels to weigh in, because it's the three levels of government that will make this health system be transformed in the direction that the president has laid out, which is to build the human capital that will see to the growth and prosperity of this country. So that's the first point that I would like to make. The second point I would like to make is that if you look at the spending on health in Nigeria, we're not spending enough for the population, and there are many comparators. But for every, let's say, 1,000 naira that we spend, total health expenditure, about 100 naira will come from external parties, about 300 naira will come from all levels of government, and 60 naira is coming from private sources, households, and out of pocket. So the external component of our total health spend is less than 10%, it's 10% or less of the total spending on health.
In response, lawmakers are pushing for a healthcare sector trust fund to provide a sustainable solution to funding challenges. Chairman of the committee, Honorable Amobi Oga, reiterated the importance of increased domestic investment in healthcare.
We must also commend you, sir, and your Ministry of Health for your leadership, determination, doggedness in making a case for increased funding for the health sector to the Federal Executive Council under the prevailing circumstances, which led to several funds that have been allocated to the health sector in recent times. This certainly will go a long way in plugging the funding gaps that the U.S. government decision have created. I want to say that for us to engender a mutually beneficiary relationship, there must be a regular interactions, engagement, and collaborations among the committee and the ministry. Hence, the need to have this meeting to build synergy between the Committee on ATM and the Ministry of Health and Social Welfare. We are also interested to know the short-term, the mid-term, and the long-term funding plans and the modalities for implementations by the ministry in the fight against HIV, AIDS, tuberculosis, and malaria control in Nigeria.
Encouragement. Bearing in mind that we struck hard towards increasing your revenue part from the current appropriation bill. But I think we need to do more. World Health Organization, I think they have a suggestion of 15% of the national budget should be channeled towards health. I think we should strive towards that. I think we're only hitting about 5 point something percent, if I'm right. I think we should, 4 point something, 5%. I think we should be striving for more. And then also, charity begins at home. If there's any encouragement that we could pass towards our local producers and manufacturers so that we don't have to always go externally to buy medications for our people, it makes procurement costs go down steeply. Is there any push from your end towards achieving those kind of goals of increasing our local production of our medications, nets, etc.?
Professor Pate also emphasized the role of lawmakers in healthcare advocacy, calling on them to raise awareness in their constituencies on disease prevention and public health initiatives.
Despite the abrupt nature of it, I think Nigerians can be rest assured that government is doing all that it can within its limited resources to ensure that we provide for the treatment of our population this year and also in the years to come. In terms of buying the commodities, bringing them in and distributing them. It may not be the same level as those who were bringing it through the external parties who were doing it. They were bringing those resources from paying in US dollars. We have Naira. So we have to calibrate the expectation, but President Tinubu and his administration are doing everything possible to ensure that we protect the health and well-being of Nigerians. And the impact of the shift in U.S. policy is not one that we would allow within the limits of what we have to undermine the health of Nigerians.
As Nigeria navigates this transition, all eyes are on the government's ability to sustain healthcare funding and maintain essential services for millions of citizens. Annie Patrick, Core TV News, Abuja.